Well, Cardinals, want to take some time to explain Investigation 4.1 today. We're on pages 11, 12, and 13, starting Lesson 4. For Lesson 4, we're going to read the introduction. It's about earthquakes and looking where they would be on Earth's surface, thinking about how these factors help us better understand how those geological forces like volcanoes, eruptions, affect our cities' lives and homes. You're going to be exploring different ways the crust moves throughout this lesson. So our objective for Investigation 4.1 is to analyze data to identify and describe global patterns in the locations of earthquakes. We have a lot of vocabulary for Lesson 4. You should have gotten a handout today, but there's a look at them and all the pages you can find them on. So the first part of this investigation, you're going to be looking at the Lesson Master 4.1, plotting earthquakes. You're going to use some different tools. You use an inflatable Earth globe and some markers to record your information. And of course, stuff goes in your notebook. You're going to look at the lesson master called seismic activity. And with your group, you're going to describe what you think this data is going to represent. And you record your group's response. And you're going to be looking at 3 different earthquakes from the table and recording that information. You're going to think about which of these release the most energy and talk about that with your group also. So part 4 is about thinking about the depth of an earthquake. So thinking about what the word depth means. And then we'll be talking about longitude and latitude for earthquake epicenters on your inflatable globes. You're going to get assigned 10 earthquakes from the data table. So lab 1, you would start at earthquake number 1, and then obviously you can see what's going on here. You're going to be researching different earthquakes, kind of splitting up the work between the different groups. You're going to discuss the patterns with the locations of these earthquakes, and then you're going to answer these thinking about where the earthquakes are located, how that affects the United States, and if there's any specific areas, how would you describe those? So you've plotted 10 seismic events, and you're going to plot 40 more, talking about that with your group, and then what patterns. Once again, you're looking at patterns. If you keep adding more and more and more seismic events, what are you going to eventually find out? Where would those be located? You're going to display the map showing 1,000 worldwide events. We're going to look at those in just a minute. And you're going to be thinking about this as evidence of the theory of plate tectonics. You should have watched that in a video thinking about the lithosphere, which is the outermost part of the Earth, and that is broken into plates. And so here's what would happen if we planted 1,000 dots on the Earth's surface. So you're going to have a round globe at school during the lab, but this is what it would look like if you planted all of those events. And then thinking about how that affects things like mountain ranges, the Himalayas, mid-ocean ridges, and the Pacific Belt, better known as the Ring of Fire. So we're going to be thinking about how the seismic activity, the volcanoes and the earthquakes are related to where the plates meet. You're going to look at the map once again to figure out where the boundaries are located and describe any patterns that you see. And of course, when you're all done, you'll wipe off all your marks from the globe so the next group can use it. Thinking about this, you're going to be reading Will It Happen Again? And then discussing the questions in your notebook. Thinking about Los Angeles, thinking about survival of buildings for 60 years, keeping earthquakes, expect earthquakes in the future, how would those buildings withstand those, and thinking about how developers would be concerned about future earthquakes. So a lot to do today. Steps 1 through 14, making sure you answer questions 8, 9, and 14 in your book. We're going to be reading pages 88 and 89 called Will It Happen Again? There are 5 different vocabulary words discussed in today's lab, and your teachers will be posting this little YouTube video about plate tectonics. So a lot of things to get done today, and if you have any questions, please let your teacher know.